Hi friends, welcome to Hazy. Today I'm going to walk you through a packaging tutorial in 4 steps. I'm going to show you with my fake mic how to turn these things right here into this thing right over here. And so I'm going to walk you through 4 different steps on how to do it. Step 1 is going to be setup. Step 2 is design. Step 3 is testing. And step 4 will be exporting. And once you're done with this video, you will be able to turn a piece of paper or a flat design into a 3D box. All right, so let's flip the cam and let's head over to my desk. All right, we made it to my desk. And so now I'm going to walk you through the 4 steps, beginning with step 1, which is setup. Very important step in the process because it's kind of gonna dictate your turnout, how everything's gonna turn out. Hopefully it all turns out well. So I'm going to now show you my screen and we are going to start walking through how I basically start setting up my files. So usually I start with a template, and of course you can create your own template. Very complicated though, because it's a bunch of measurements and things like that, and you have to make sure every measurement is correct. And so usually I just download a template based on what I want. So I'm going to show you 2 different template makers or template services that I use in order to produce this content. Okay, so let's start with Packlane. This is my go-to choice, the one that I've been using the last few years, and simply it just makes it really easy to really easy to make a box, print a box, design a box, preview a box, mock up a box. And so these guys are it. I've been using them for years, highly recommend. All right, so let's just start with the kind of box that we want to create. And so they have different kinds. Usually I am working with a mailing box or mailer box. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick that. Now they give you a few different options here. Usually I like to do full color, and then they give you all the specs, and the good thing is it gives you the price right away. And so if you're working with budgets and things like that, it's a quick way to even quote something out, okay? So for the purposes of our little project here, let's see, what size do I want to do? Let's do a 12 by 9 by 2, okay? And then I'm going to choose the white material because I want it in color. Great, one option for that. And then from here, you can pick which sides you want, okay? Usually, it depends what I'm doing. Usually I'll do both sides. For the sake of our project, let's go ahead and do both sides. You can pick your quantity, right? And then you can click right here and click design now. And so what it actually does is that it creates a die line for you, okay? And so they have like this whole built-in thing, which is amazing. I am not sponsored. Packlane, if you would like to sponsor me, that would be amazing. But basically, this is the die line right here, okay? And so I'm gonna zoom out so you can see it. Hopefully my video is not too buggy as I'm kind of doing this stuff, but this basically is the die line. Now it indicates here to you if it's outside or inside, and then they have this really great mock-up, which is so helpful because I am a visual person, obviously, but I really understand things visually. So this flat die line doesn't help me, but this does. And so you can even hover and it'll indicate what side or what panel you're designing on. You can actually design right on here, okay? Usually I don't, usually I design in Illustrator, which is what I'm going to show you. If you want, this is, I guess, like a Canva, right? One of those things that makes designing things super easy because you can literally just go on here and press text and like add it, and it'll preview it for you. I'll just show you really quick. Again, not sponsored. Let me write here, not sponsored. Okay. And so it'll show you where it is. So it's the top of the box. So let me actually move this little guy here because it has these different options. And so I can go ahead and close the box and it'll show you right where it lands, which is really, really helpful. So I'm going to just delete that because this is a design tutorial. So I'm going to show you how to actually design it, okay? All right, there it goes. All right, so I'm going to click on download dieline. It's downloaded, it's in my downloads folder. I'm gonna go ahead, it downloads as a PDF. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my Illustrator file. Okay, and so basically it's just going to, it's a PDF, it has 2 pages. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open page 1. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, I'm just going to check, whoop, there goes the lag. I'm just going to check the PDF and make sure that the document that they gave me matches what I am putting into my Illustrator file. So I don't think you can see my menus and stuff on here because I only did the, okay, so it's the same thing. So there's 2 sides because it's inside and outside, but it's the same layout, just checking. So what I'm just gonna do in my Illustrator file is that I'm going to duplicate my artboard. Okay, oh my God. Okay, well, I have my 2 artboards. I'm going to create a new layer and then I'm going to label one outside and the other one inside. And so I'm just gonna bring in this die line here and I'm going to put it right over there. All right. And then what I'm going to actually do is I'm gonna write die line and then actually, you know what? I'm just gonna put these 2 in the same layer. So let me just grab what's on here. All right. And I'm just gonna call this the die line. All right, and I'm gonna lock that guy and then I'm gonna make a new layer and that's actually gonna be my art layer. Okay. Great. When I have this, the next thing that I do in my setup process is I actually print this out because I want to have a physical copy of this document. So as I am laying things down, it is accurate and I know which panels to put it on. That's what the software was kind of doing for you whenever you hovered into a panel and it kind of highlighted it on the mock-up. I'm gonna do that, but in like physical space. So now we're going to print this guy in this die line, just one of the sides, or actually we can print it double-sided. So we'll print this double-sided and then I'll show you how to put this stuff together. All right, we did it. Here's our print. Can barely see it. Doesn't need to be a high profile print. It just needs to be a print that you can see. So from here, what we want to do is we want to start labeling. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. I usually use a pencil because I can erase. I'm just going to go ahead and start putting different labels. So this is like top flap. Sometimes I do like acronyms like numbers or whatever. So I'm gonna call this top center. Let me stop there. Let me go ahead and cut this and I'll get a better sense of what it's gonna look like. So now that I labeled it, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting it. And I'm actually going to then review my labeling and make sure that it makes sense. If it does, then I'll go ahead and translate to the other side. If it doesn't, I'll make adjustments. And again, as I'm cutting this, it doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to be able to have a physical example that actually closes. Now I'm going to fold and I'm going to tape. All right. So here I just start folding the lines. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, but this is like the beginning of a structure. So there we have it. So I am actually going to erase these things because some of the orientation is incorrect. And so I want to make sure that I am writing it in the orientation it needs to be in, because when I open it up, it's going to help me lay out my file. All right, so this is, I'm gonna call this the cover, top cover. And then this would be top flap, I mean. So the titles are right, but I want to make sure that my orientation is correct. Okay. So bottom left. And I'm just gonna add here in the right orientation this way. So when I set up my file, that looks right, back center. And this would be, actually, all of this is not correct. See, sometimes it's like DIY. I should have actually folded it first and then done all of the labeling. So I'm just gonna do, this would be, okay. So this is my right side, outside. And then this is my left side, outside. Very WIP, but this is how I figure things out, okay? And then this is the bottom cover. All right. So I'm gonna open it. And then I'm kind of gonna write the same thing. So this is like inside. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take our little demo here, our physical file setup, and I'm going to begin transcribing it now to Illustrator, okay? And so I'm going to start transcribing all of it. The main thing that I'm focused on is that when I put my template up, some titles are upside down and others are straightforward, if you can see. And so all of that impacts my actual layout, because as I fold it, it's going to end up in the right orientation. So you might have a file where things are upside down and stuff like that, and that is okay. And that is part of setting this thing up properly. So let's check out the screen. All right, so let's go ahead and start designing this thing. If you notice, I had to move because my computer was super laggy. So this is my labels layer. I'm going to lock that bad boy and I'm going to hide it. Now I'm going to begin designing. Praise God for newer computers that can handle all of it. So I'm just gonna go with the whole non-sponsored, I cannot talk and type at the same time. So I'm just gonna have some fun here. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of design just to keep this thing, oh my gosh, it's so hard to design and or like do stuff and talk. Just to keep this tutorial kind of short, because I think it's already kind of getting up there. One of my current favorite fonts is Enter. It's a Google font. So I'm just gonna go and do that. And so let's see. It also has a lot of really great glyphs, which I love. And let's see, I like this little guy. Oop, well, I had it in my menu. Let me move this over so I can see. Okay, so let me go in here. Let's add this little guy here. Let's add him. And then, what else do we have? Maybe we can do like the heart. We'll see. And then, kind of want stuff with like a line going through it. So let me see, 0. Oh, here we go. That's cool. Okay, anything else? Maybe I already have an X. Oh, there we go. Just anything that's like canceled out or like, all right, cool. Maybe we do 0. Why not? Okay. Let me see what this looks like if I were to put this X instead. All right, well, we have something there that's kind of fun. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that, and then, all right, now everything that I'm designing, I'm kind of just doing it upside up, right side up. I think that's how you say it, right side up. So, you know, because I gotta see it in its context, like the way I'm designing, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip it so that it is in its proper orientation. So let me go ahead and just do a color here. Let's go with the yellow, really cheeky old yellow. And let me just kind of, sometimes I like to put my backgrounds in a separate layer, just so when I'm manipulating my art, it's a little easier and I can just lock this. So let's just make both sides of this thing, the inside and outside. Also, I just realized I was designing in my inside and I'm supposed to be on the outside. So I'll just move that over. All right, now it's sponsored. And then let me see if I can actually put a stripe through this. I've never tried to do that before. It works great. Stupid. Okay, so I don't know, maybe I just kind of do this. Oh, I guess I want to fill in the gaps a little bit more. Let me see. So, okay, I don't have time for that. This doesn't have to be a perfect design. Crazy. What is this? Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and align these things. There we go. And then I'm gonna group them. And so that's kind of like my bottom flap. Oops, thought I grouped. Okay, that's my bottom flap right there. And then, I mean, you can decide how crazy you wanna go, right? So like you can do the whole shebang if you want. Just notice that like things are gonna, as they get folded, they're gonna get cut off. So I'm just kind of gonna line my whole back there. Okay. Let me just, Pack Lane, please sponsor me. All right, let's put that there. Let's remove the strike through. Okay. Hey, vamos a ver si hay un happy face. Sometimes these things have happy faces, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I just go to web things, is that what they're called? These guys here. And sometimes they have things. Let me see. Okay, there's no happy faces here. Oh, maybe let's do this guy. All right, cool. All right, Packling, please sponsor me. Let's center that to the artboard. Okay, that's kind of what I'm gonna do. And then just for the sake of being stupid, still making a YouTube though. All right, now the inside, I guess we could do whatever we want, right? So then, I don't know, let me just be silly. So let me just write here, I'm a really good designer. Okay. And then, oh, let's keep that kind of the same size. And then, I don't know, it depends how you want to design it. If you want stuff on the bottom. I think I'm going to, let me see. Okay, I think I just kind of want to do this guy here. So, let's see what that looks like. Again, you can spend time kind of making sure all these things are properly aligned and like the same as the other one, but for the sake of time, I'm just kind of gonna, let me actually take one of these. Let's just do this. I am hungry, if you can hear my tummy rumbling. I'm just being loud and obnoxious for the sake of being loud and obnoxious. Okay, I'm gonna group that. This is grouped. Okay, I'm just gonna end it there. Now I'm gonna go back into my layers and I'm gonna turn on these guys because I need to be able, let me actually make these all like red so I can like see them. Okay, so this art here needs to be upside, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that over. Okay, then same thing for this top cover. So let me just group this. Make sure everything is aligned. So this is like your little box here. So if you want things to be aligned, just like make a box, follow your guides, and then let's take this here and then align it. And obviously, best practice for print, which I'll go through in a second, you want to outline your text and stuff. That way your alignment is more precise. Sorry that I'm floating all over it. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then this one also needs to be, and that one, and I didn't do anything there. Okay. Now for this side, this stays this way. If you notice the labels, it's right side up. So that I didn't do anything here. And okay, so we're good here. Now that is step 2, that is design. Now we're going to go into step 3, which is proofing and testing. So we're gonna do the whole thing again of printing this out and making sure that our labels and everything is correct, because right after that, we are going to then set up for print, okay? All right, we did it. It's printed. So now I am going to cut it and hopefully I did it right. We're gonna find out. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me move all of this. All right, we did it. Here we go. So as you can see, that is the outside cover. This is our back. That's the front flap, the sides. I didn't put any art on the sides. And when you open it, it goes like this. And I did the top and the bottom, that's about it. Now, in your design file, you can fill in all these panels if you want. And you can do crazy things, like things can bleed into each other or whatever. Just be mindful of the orientation. Something else that I like to pay attention to is kind of like the opening of the box, right? So it's like this. If I put art on the bottom, I kind of want to make sure that from any side it's viewed viewed properly, not possibly, viewed properly. So in this case, you can see like all of the symbols are upside down. You know, if I go this way, they're right side up. And so those are just design choices for this one actually. So I have my samples here for the one I showed you. I had done one of these printouts, I think it was this one. And I had realized that the way that I had put VU was, it was gonna read upside down. If I did it this way, it was okay, but you know, most people, I don't know if people go like this, and so I didn't want it to be, so I made an adjustment, which is all of these prints. And I ended up deciding to just put it on the side so that whichever way you kind of get it, you are kind of reading VU. And so that's what all these different tests were. I did a pattern inside. So that's how you get this. Now, I'm going to show you my next step, which is exporting and making sure this stuff is set up properly. Cool? So let's get back to the computer. All right, we're back. Now we're going to set up for prints. Okay, so first thing you want to do here is obviously spell check and all that stuff. You made sure that everything was in the right orientation, so we're good there. So this is all just like print stuff. Now you want to outline all of your text, which basically turns it into an object. That way, whoever opens up this file doesn't have an issue because they're missing the font or whatever. So I just did all of that. If you're working with PMS colors and things like that, you definitely want to pull that. Right now, I'm just going to keep the color that I have. If you don't care if it's CMYK, then just use whatever the color that you chose on your software. But you would add that if you're using PMS. And then the next thing is just like make sure everything's centered. This is part of proofing. I kind of skipped it in this tutorial just for the sake of time, but I definitely go in and I draw these boxes and then I just make sure that everything's aligned. So align to key object, there it is. And so I'll do that for all of it, for every panel, to make sure that everything is properly aligned. And that's basically those red lines that you see in your die. By the way, I'm doing Command Y to get this view. Here we go. Okay. And so then now everything's centered. So I'm ready to go to print. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to export a PDF. Let me just do a side note. When you are working on stuff like this and you outline your text, maybe duplicate it. I highly encourage that you do. That way, if you need to make an edit, you're not screwed because you kind of undid your edit ability. So what I normally do is like, I would save this AI file, for example, as like print ready, you know? And that would be like my outlined file, which actually, let me undo. Because I just realized I did what I'm saying not to do, which is to keep the outline text. So let me save this over the original. Here we go. Place. Let me go ahead and open this bad boy up again. All right, here we go. So all of that is done. And then, so then you export for, save it as a PDF. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna export it as a PDF. And then you can decide if you wanna do it all or if you wanna do 1 to side 2. Now, let's go back to Packlane and let's see what they actually, I'm just gonna export this as a PDF. Save to PDF. All right, I'm just gonna keep the Illustrator default. Because they actually, if you use Packlane, at least they actually, I don't even know if I have my save design on here. Nope, let me see. They actually have somebody that actually proofs this for you. So it's okay, you know, like it's not like this is gonna go to press right away. There's a proofing process. I think I did 12 by 9 by 2, right? 12 by 9 by 2, okay. And then I did both sides for this. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of show you this. You don't need to use Packling, you don't need to do any of this, but then you would go to like upload dieline. And then that's kind of where you would drop your artwork, okay? I wanted to show you one more that when I was in art school, actually, Packling I didn't know about. And I had to make a box, where is it? And literally the teacher was like, okay, it's packaging class, so you have to like make a box for a cell phone. Good luck. That was it. And I was like, what in the world? Like, how do I make a box? Like, she didn't give a website, she didn't give a book, nothing. This was 12 years ago. The world was different. We didn't have all the resources we have now. I don't know how, by the grace of the Lord, honestly, I found this website and I was actually able to make my template. And so you can kind of go here and pick whatever thing you need, and then put your measurements, and it'll actually spit up a die line for you. So there we go, friends. And that's it. That's how you do that. How you make a box. Now, I have a physical one here, so I'm just going to show you what this actually ended up looking like. So I just have my W's here, and this is the final box. Now, it's a VX commemorating our 10-year anniversary, and then I just did that print there. This is what I was talking to you about earlier, where depending on how you kind of open it, you kind of see Boo clearly with whichever way. I left this open here for the mailing label. And then inside, I wanted to do like a pattern, so I did a pattern. And this is going to be the book. And so for this, we printed like a little card and just stuff that kind of plays into this year's vision theme, which Pastor Rich will unveil soon. I'm not gonna go into it too much now. And then wrinkle paper, which I just threw on the floor. And then this is the book. Now this is like a gift box for friends and family of our church. This is our book. This is a dummy copy of the book. So I'm not gonna showcase this right now, but I did want to do a metallic finish with embossing because it's not perfect. It's nearly perfect, but it's not all the way perfect. But this showcases, this is the history of Boo. And for 10 years, this is actually one of my favorite I'm gonna tell you the story. When I became the creative director in 2020, this is one of my first projects. Daunting. It was a 10-minute vision presentation. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And so this was the art for it. And we ended up art directing that whole video shoot. And it's actually some of my most like beautiful work, some of my most proudest work. There we go. Ballerinas, thank you for dancing. Anyway, friends, thanks for hanging with me. I hope you learned something new today. I'll see you next time. If you have any ideas on what you want to learn, put them in the comments and let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know how it goes when you try it. And as always, keep making beautiful things. I'll see you around.